Hi, welcome to SVR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. His name is Mike Brenner. We are the odds couple. We come to you from sportsbookreview.com. It's week 12 in the NFL. We're talking with Doug Upstone. This is the False Faves Top Dogs show. Doug Upstone 1-2 last week, which brings him to 21-11-1 against the spread on the year.
He's human.
Yes, that's right.
He's human.
You know, they were all close.
Yeah.
You know, all three of them were close. Doug Upstone, your record on the year is excellent. How you feel about this week? A quirky week in NFL.
Yeah, it's to be honest with you, to me, for doing this particular video and article, this is the hardest week of the season. So I had to step out a little bit, come up with some, just say some different ideas here. So I got my fingers crossed that I can get back over 66%, for the year on this. So let's see what we can do.
Okay, let's see what Doug Upstone can do. What's your first top dog or false fave for NFL Week 12?
My first one is a false favorite, and it's going to be on the Atlanta Falcons. Now, when you look at this game just off the top, all signs point to Atlanta having a pretty comfortable and easy win coming off a bye, and Arizona being 1-2-1 and 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games. But, last week, if you look at how they lost on a missed call that turned into a 100-yard pick six and a 140-yard kickoff return. When I look a little further at this game, I see the Atlanta defense, which is still not very good with a bye week or not, and Arizona can still move the ball. So I'm expecting Arizona to have a big helping of David Johnson this week to run the ball against a real average Atlanta defensive front. And let's also not forget that the Atlanta pass defense is 31st in the NFL. Everyone understands that the Falcons play better in the Georgia Dome, but one maybe thing that everybody doesn't remember or recall, they're only 2-11 as home favorites since 2014. So for my money, that makes the Atlanta Falcons this week a false favorite.
Arizona +4. Mike Brenner, what do you have? You have an opinion on that one, Mike Brenner?
Yeah, I'm on the other side, and I respectfully argue with Doug all the time because that's what we do, and we all have opinions. But, he had noted a couple things that Arizona fell short on, which were special teams, and that's a huge, huge gap.
Sure.
All right, and I don't think they're going to fix that over week. If this was the team from last year, I'd say yeah, but this is a team that is just totally I don't know. They're so up and down. Arians, he's back in the hospital again. That's what it's doing to him. I don't see any way in hell this team gets a win. They're not a playoff caliber team this year in my eyes. They don't scare anybody, and that quarterback is absolutely over the hill.
Well, Carson Palmer. He also took a beating last
week.
week.
It's over. He's done. He's got nothing left.
Yeah.
Nothing left in the NFL. Larry Fitzgerald, poor guy, he's taking a beating. I think this is going to be the easiest win of the year for Atlanta. I think they're going to pummel this team, and they're going to take out their frustrations after a bye week because Dan Quinn is definitely going to have that defense playing better ball. They're going to key on David Johnson because Doug was definitely right. David Johnson, he is a beast. But other than that, that quarterback scares nobody. He'll probably throw more pick sixes than he will touchdowns.
All right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, a ballsy pick from Doug Upstone, like in Arizona +4. Doug Upstone, what's your second false favorite or top dog for NFL Week 12?
Well, if you thought that one was a little bit crazy, you're going to think this one's even worse. I got a top dog, and it's going to be on the Cleveland Browns this week. You know what? No, I'm not drinking on the job. I'm just playing a hunt. Of course, we know that Cleveland stinks, okay? But to me, it's as hard to lose 16 games in a single season as it is to win 16 games. Now, at least this week, they're going to have their best option at quarterback, which is Josh McCown. So I think that's going to help them. But I look at the Giants. Their remaining schedule is Pittsburgh, Dallas, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Washington. In the scheme of things, where do you think the Cleveland Browns figure on the Richter scale for them on that one? I don't think very high. Now, hey, I'm fully aware the Browns are 2-9 against the spread and losing by 12.8 points per game. But I'm also extremely cognizant of the fact that the New York Giants have won 7 games by an average of 3.4 points. I'm not saying Cleveland's going to win the game, but like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber, I think the Browns still got a chance.
All right. Well,
I love it.
+7. That's enough points for you, Doug Upstone.
It is.
What do you think, Mike?
You know what? I think if there's any week, and I love what Doug said, it's got to be just as hard to lose 16 as it is to win 16. But if there was any team, all right, that they could grab, I think it's this one because that Giants offense doesn't scare a whole lot of people, even with Beckham. Bottom line, Eli Manning's just too up and down, and this team is desperate for a win. They might be overlooking this team. That's a really good angle there, and I don't think you're crazy on that one, my man.
All right, Doug Upstone, what is your third false favorite or top dog for NFL Week 12?
We're going to go with with the total again, guys, and we're going to look at the people, or the public, being correct, going in the right direction for the Chiefs and the Broncos. Now, the Kansas City offense is not getting it done, and that was very clear last week in their loss to Tampa Bay. The Chiefs were 24th in total offense, not generating any big plays, and settled for far too many field goals. With wide receiver Jeremy Maclin in and out of the lineup, the rest of the wide receivers do not scare anybody with what the Kansas City has. And so Kansas City this year is 8-2 under, and the total is heading south down to 39.5.
Wow.
Now, the Denver defense is not quite as good as it was last year, but it's still a very good group. Now, Trevor Siemian has proven to be a serviceable quarterback, but he doesn't really have much of a running game because the offensive line is strictly middle of the road. With big plays hard to come by with both teams, two strong defenses, I think this total is on the mark and going to support the under in this one.
Wow.
All right, it's 39.5 now, Doug Upstone. That's okay?
I'm good with that. I got to actually, my numbers come out to about 36 and a half.
All right, well, Denver's defense is definitely getting healthier, and the Chiefs' offense is stalled out, not looking like it's going to be fixed this year, right, Mike Brenner?
Exactly. And, Pete, I'm wondering what your thought is on that. Seriously, with
Kansas
totals.
Kansas City's defense, though, has given up a bunch of yards, though, over the past bunch of weeks, so I'm sure you're aware of that, Doug Upstone.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But and I got to jump in, Doug, because I think what Doug said really makes sense. Siemian, all right, he's not really hurting the team, but he has got nothing real explosive, and that run game is non-existent. So I don't see them putting up any points. If Denver wins, I think it's going to be like a 17-14 or something. I like this angle.
All right, Doug Upstone, you want to comment on KC's defense?
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say was the as far as I know on totals, they don't care about yards, only care about what the score is, right, Peter?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
like
correct.
this
All right, Doug Upstone, 3 interesting picks. This is a tough week in the NFL, Mike Brenner, but Doug Upstone chugging along again, 21-11-1 ATS in this show on the year. Just an awesome record, and 3 interesting picks from Doug Upstone. Doug Upstone, thanks as always. We'll talk to you again next week. Win, lose, or draw.
Thanks, Doug.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.